So there's not much other heavyweight stuff this month. The main other kind of heavyweight adjacent feud is Bobby Roode versus Lance Hoyt. It spins off of the gauntlet match from Hard Justice where Roode did eliminate Hoyt from the floor. So they started setting that match in motion at Hard Justice.
Yeah, I mean, listen. It's not great. Like, it's not a great matchup for either guy at this point, but I guess it's decent enough mid-card fodder.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they do identify at this stage that, like, Roode's a singles guy. He's going to be a single star. I think the problem is Roode at this stage is pretty far from being ready to be a single star.
Yeah.
And even, like, when they do it in 07, when they do, like, the Miss Brooks pairing and he gets, like, the rich guy character, even then he's still not really entirely there. So, like, I think at this stage it should just be Roode and Young as the Team Canada tag team, and then Petey's doing the X Division stuff.
Because they're really good as a tag team, too.
Yeah, I just think, like, everybody would be better off in this situation. But at the same time, I can't blame them for trying.
I just think they're trying with the wrong guy.
Well, at the wrong time. It's the right guy at the wrong time.
No, I think, they're trying, I think Hoyt should be the guy they're, putting the muscle behind.
Well, they're putting it behind Hoyt, too. It is a it's a singles program of two top prospects. That's the way this is kind of presented.
Yeah, the wrong guy winning.
It is the wrong guy winning, but he does get the moment at the end of the match. We'll talk about that in a sec. So, there's nothing really to set this up on the first Impact of the month. Lance Hoyt has a squash match against Bruno Sassy.
Just a last fuck you to Dusty.
One last Phi Delta slam job.
Yeah.
Scott D'Amore is on commentary. Big Till tried to interfere. Hoyt wins with a moonsault. They do make a big boot, a signature Hoyt move, which I don't really like because the comparisons to Test are already there.
He's an old big fella, still a big boot.
I don't know, when you get the big guy with the leathery pants, but he's more pleather than leather, but still, like when you get a guy who has a physical resemblance to Test already, and I think it was always a talking point for him that it's like he is Test adjacent. I think he has cool moves. He has the blackout, he has the moonsault. He doesn't need a big boot.
The same thing we've said about Lance Hoyt on the New Japan show is if this guy just had his 2023 look 2 decades earlier. He would have been a major pro wrestling star.
Because we do talk about Roode not being there yet. Hoyt isn't either.
No, but Hoyt does cool shit and is big, so he gets over.
Yeah, and also the Impact Zone have just adopted him. It's one of those borderline irrational. Lance Hoyt's cool, but they're cheer for him on a level above what he's been presented on the show for some reason.
Because he does a fucking moonsault and he's giant.
I think he's just their guy. I think it's just random. They picked him as their guy. But that's the thing. You can do something with that.
Yeah. Have him lose.
Tilly jumped Hoyt after the match, but Hoyt made his own comeback with a big boot.
Tilly.
Yeah, Big Tilly and Bruno Sassy.
Tilly.
D'Amore got on the mic and said it's all smiles, but it'll be a different story at Slammiversary. He's going to take care of Hoyt himself. But then Roode jumped Hoyt from behind with a hockey stick and they beat him.
The pop he got when he popped the top. Wow, that was a lot of ops.
That does bring us to Slammiversary where Bobby Roode defeated Lance Hoyt.
Boo.
D'Amore spectacularly cowered away from Hoyt early in the match.
D'Amore's so good.
He's getting all because Lance Hoyt has his back to him and he's all like, I'm gonna get him. And then Hoyt turns around and he's like, oh! It's like he starts shaking his cheeks and he's freaking out. It's perfect management. D'Amore threw punches to Hoyt and sold his own hand, which is a thing I always liked. It was like, he's again the cowardly manager who punches Hoyt, but that hurts his hand more than it hurts Hoyt. Hoyt went for the moonsault, but D'Amore grabbed Hoyt's leg, allowing Roode to hit a powerbomb, but Hoyt kicked out. Hoyt lined up the big boot, but D'Amore grabbed his ankle again, causing a distraction, allowing Roode to hit the Northern Lariat for the win. Bobby Roode defeats Lance Hoyt.
Boo!
Yeah, it's Hoyt has momentum. I get what they're doing with Roode. I really do. It's not that Roode's a guy who absolutely positively shouldn't be beating Lance Hoyt. I understand what they're trying here. Hoyt's the guy who should have gone over.
Yeah.
After the match, they beat him down, probably for a little too long, I would have said.
Yeah. I would have had Lance win, do the beat down, and then do the thing afterwards. Because that makes Roode still look like a guy that's, vicious. But Hoyt, not only does he get the win, he also gets to put out the manager.
Yeah, but at least he gets something. He does get to stand tall. So D'Amore goes for a moonsault, misses, flops everywhere, because again, he rocks. Hoyt stops D'Amore from escaping by pulling his pants down. Scott goes full moon, which Don West then responds by telling the children to leave the room. It's like, take your children out of the room.
He also apologizes.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Take your children out of the room. They cannot witness Scott D'Amore's ass. Listen, Scott D'Amore showing what Jeff Jarrett couldn't. He can show ass.
He definitely can. He's one of the best at it.
Hoyt chokeslams D'Amore and then hits him with the moonsault. That causes Mike Tenay to spontaneously just go, woo!
Yeah.
D'Amore stretchered out. Crowd went nuts for the chokeslam and the moonsault. They were very, very pleased to see D'Amore put in his place. And this is a write-off for D'Amore for a while because he's the booker.
Yeah, which, he realizes that that he can't do it all at once.
There's a troubled history of this company so far, of the booker booking themselves to be perhaps too important a part of the show and unwilling to show ass. So he does, in fact, show all of the ass in this match.
And then leave.
And then leave for a while.